Hey everybody, this is Scott Weidenkivowitz. Today I want to share a question that I got from a reader of mine. The question was, I shoot with a Canon 60D. The ratio is 2:3, which makes an 8:12 inch print. The best size when I have my pictures printed at a lab. 8:12 print makes sense. How do I get an 8:10 photo without cropping? Some venues want an 8:10 photo and loses so much of my photo. Are the camera settings to change the ratio when shooting? Is there a difference? So the question basically says, my camera shoots to an 8:12, but I want it to shoot to an 8:10, so I don't have to crop anything afterwards. So this is a very odd question because all cameras that are 60D, that type of sensor, will have an 8:12 ratio. So you can either some cameras can actually crop in camera. You can put on a digital setting and it will crop in camera. But it's the same thing as cropping in post-processing in Lightroom or in Aperture or wherever. So really, I would say just shoot the full thing. Think in the back of your mind what the 8:10 will look like, and then when you crop it later on, you're not gonna have to worry about losing things you didn't want. How can you do that? How can you visualize it? Well, take a step back, go a little bit wider, and now when you crop, you're not losing the important part of the scene. So just to show everybody the difference between 8:12 and 8:10, here we are. This is just a photo I took recently. I'm going to open up, I'm inside of Lightroom, and you can see here right now I'm in the crop tool, and the aspect is original. And I'll switch it to 2:3 so you can see it didn't change, right? It's as shot because that's what it is. Here we go, aspect 2:3, nothing changed. That's an 8:12 or 4:6 or 2:3. If I switch to 8:10, look what happens. It loses a little bit on the edges. Of course, I can move it over, but that's an 8:10 right there. So yes, you could do this in camera, but there's really no reason to. Do it in post-processing. Just visualize it ahead of time. That's all you need to do is visualize. Visualize, visualize, visualize. Say that 3 times fast. So again, let's go back to the original. 2:3, same thing, and then 8:10. Just visualize it a little bit. Don't worry about doing it in camera. You can do it in camera if you want. If your camera allows for you to do cropping in camera, you can do it. But there's no reason to. Don't lose that data that, for example, if this was for a client, if this photo was for a client and the client wanted 8:10, what if I wanted to use the photo for myself down the road and I already cropped it to an 8:10 permanently? I'd lose everything that I had originally. So don't do it in camera. Don't do it in camera if your camera does it permanently. But do it in post-processing, Lightroom, Aperture, iPhoto, wherever you're doing it later on. Do it there. Thanks for watching.